Welcome along to our Champions League post-match show. Good to have you with us tonight, Kate, Thierry, Jamie and Micah. What a smile from Micah Richards. Listen, we've got a whole hour of a post-game here for you. We'll bring you all the reaction from the studio in London and also live from Madrid as well. I guess 1-1 at the Bernabeu. Now you go back to the Etihad next week. How does that affect your confidence levels? Your confidence levels must be high because you've been brilliant.
He thinks they've won.
No, let's not get too excited because I think Benzema's going to have a say in this tie. I think today was a little bit quiet. Jay mentioned Vinicius before the game. He turned up. The man Kevin De Bruyne turned up as well. So it's all to play for. All I'm saying is last season, it was at the Bernabeu, the second leg. This time, it's at the Etihad. And you think with a crowd, it'll give them the advantage. That's okay.
Will you still be nervous ahead of the second leg?
Of course, I'm still nervous now, yeah. Still nervous watching that game. It was tense. Man City, I thought, were the better team. But on transition, Real Madrid, know how to get it done. So that's what I'm nervous of.
You had raised some questions about Manchester City's away form before this game. What were your thoughts on how they handled this game?
They played, I mentioned it earlier, a proper semi-final game that you play away from home back in the days where you try to... They have a different way of killing a game off, City. They don't go in front of their box and wait. They make you run with the ball. They keep the ball. That's the best way to defend. If you keep the ball, you don't have to chase it. You have it. But I thought at the time, like away from home a lot this year, obviously you're playing against Madrid, they didn't create a lot, which they scored from outside of the box. Madrid scored from outside of the box. So that tells you that the defense and the organization, whether you play high, really high, to defend, or low, defenders were on top of the strikers, but the midfielders, apart from Vinicius, because I'm talking about the position where he scored the goal, being inside or winger coming in, shooting, it's very difficult to defend that. Although we can talk about how maybe Ederson was suspicious on the goal, but the power of the strike wasn't also that easy. So a proper tie away from home, strong performance. Not so much the City way as we see it sometimes, but it was a strong performance.
No, I agree with Thierry, and I think Pep Guardiola, we always pigeonhole him as teams always play the same way. But I don't think they do at times. The makeup of Manchester City's changed over the years in terms of the profile of player. And also when you think of what they did when they went to Bayern Munich, now they had a lead from the first leg, and again, that was a performance that we think about, teams that we played in. You go away from home and you try and hold on to that lead. Now, I know they went on to win the game, but it was almost about stopping Bayern Munich as much. I think towards the end of that game, once it went 1-1, I think Manchester City were happy with the 1-1. And again, it's probably not something that we associate with Manchester City or Pep Guardiola, but he's thinking, this is a great result, let's get out of here. We're 1-1, and we're big favourites going into the second leg. So, yeah, I think it was a really mature performance from Manchester City. We're at the best, but you don't have to be at your best in away games in European football. You need to make sure you're still in the tie by the time you go for the home leg, and that's where City are right now.
So who's your money on next round?
Oh, Man City.
You think Man City will do it?
Yeah, I think Man City are big favourites. I think if Real Madrid would have gone with the one-goal lead, I think it'd have been a 50-50 game, but now I think City are big favourites. All the pressure's on them.
Stupid smile. So let's take a look at that first goal by Vinicius. You called him before the game, I think, the most dangerous player that Real Madrid have, and that definitely rang true tonight.
Yeah, and not just because of the goal. I think throughout the night, I think he was possibly the best player on the pitch tonight. Every time the ball came to him, he was really dangerous. And before the goal goes in, the ball go past him because he hits it so well. But I'm asking Thierry, but even further on my right shoulder is a man who I'm sure has got the answer. Rob Green. He hasn't got the answer either.
Yes, guys. How are we doing? It was an interesting... I'll get there eventually. Yeah, I've got the answer. First and foremost, I would say that on that strike, it is the worst feeling in the world for a goalkeeper to be unsighted by a defender. We got coming inwards, just a fraction. That time it takes for it to come inward by the ball. Don't turn your back. I turn around and say, actually, Ruben Diaz has more chance of blocking that than Ederson has of saving it.
The goalkeepers' union.
It's a fair question, though, Michael. What's your response to that?
Absolutely. Always sticking together. You knew that.
No, I just think sometimes, now with this whole new handball rule as well, you're trying to get your arms out of the way, and sometimes it can alter your body position. And if you actually look on the angle again, Rob, Ederson's weight is going slightly to the left, So then it was hard for him to get to the right. If he stays still in the middle, he probably can go left.
Talk about the timing of the set, and it's just that fraction of a second that it's in the air, that the ball's already travelling, it's already towards him. He hasn't seen it as it goes past Diaz. He can't react in time. I'll tell you what's worse is as a goalkeeper, you know you've just got that timing a fraction wrong. And sometimes you think, actually, I'm better off not diving for it, letting go in and going, oh, I didn't see it. Diaz has absolutely done me. I can't do anything about this. And everyone goes, oh, he's unsighted. Diving for it, actually, and being beaten is actually your own worst enemy at times.
Rob Green, former England keeper, good to see you. Thank you so much. We will see you in Manchester next week for the return leg. We'll have Peter Schmeichel with us as well, by the way, so we'll have two keepers on the team for that one. Let's talk about the equaliser. Kevin De Bruyne, your man from your time with the Belgian national team. What a beautiful strike this one was to equalise.
I've seen that goal, before, but he was carrying the ball against Brazil. Same impact. And he has a way of letting the ball come across him to hit it. The way he hits the ball is that. Once you go across it, you need to let that left leg go up to go with it. Show it again. if we show it again, it's very important. Look at the balance, how his body... You can learn. You can learn that. Everything is possible. Everything is doable. But I'm very happy for Kevin because you saw in the goals, he almost in tears because, as you said, it was important for him today. It was important for City, don't get me wrong. But if you want to go and pass the David Silva, the Aguero, and Yaya Toure and company, if he manages to bring this team to win a treble or to win the Champions League, it's over.
That's what the greatest players do. They have those moments that we all remember, and Thierry's right. If he could be the man who takes them to the Champions League, the treble, it elevates him. Even if we're only talking about him being his normal self in two of the games, like the second leg and the final. Because we're not questioning his ability. But in terms of where we rank players, we always judge players in the biggest moments, in the biggest tournaments. And that's why I sort of compared him to Luka Modric before the game, in terms of how many... He's won the Ballon d'Or, he's won 5 European Cups, World Cup final. Kevin, and that's not his fault. Sometimes it's the team you're playing with. But you've just got to do it in those biggest moments, and he's delivered tonight. And if he could do it again, if they get to the final, then I think we're talking about him not just being one of the best midfield players of his generation, he could go down as one of the best midfield players we've seen in the history of the game. He's that good, Kevin De Bruyne. I don't think I've seen many better. I've probably been watching football 30, 40 years. I don't think I've seen a better passer of the ball than Kevin De Bruyne. But he just needs that Champions League. He needs to have it, and he needs to be the man who wins it for them, or is an integral part of that. And then he can go right up there with sort of Iniesta, Xavi, Modric, who he's up against tonight, the real legends of the game.
Better than Gerrard?
Not right now, because Stevie's got that Istanbul moment. That's what I'm talking about. I couldn't say Steven Gerrard and Steven Gerrard was a lot better than Kevin De Bruyne. There's nothing in it. It'll split a debate. But what Steven's got is that Istanbul moment. It's one game, but it's just that moment that you can't ever take out of your mind when you think of Steven Gerrard. We still haven't got that one moment for Kevin De Bruyne at the absolute highest level. We've got hundreds of moments of Kevin De Bruyne showing he's the best midfield player in the Premier League for the last 5 years, one of the best midfield players in world football. But I just think of that one moment. And listen, this season could be the season.
I mean, it's still early doors because you still have a return leg, but he showed up today, not only by passing the ball. I don't think he had a great game, but he had an important goal. This is why I mentioned about most valuable and most important player, and I think he's still the most important player in this team. But I have to say, I came across a lot of players, played with a lot of players. So a lot of players play against some of the greatest. I think Kevin his brain is, I think it's the best that I've seen. Brain, we're not talking about the way he sees the game, and this is why we were talking about it a bit before. Because his brain is in some places, I don't know what he thinks about sometimes, in all fairness. You look at him and it's almost like he's not with us, if you know what I mean, because he's that good, and sometimes it can be a problem because you're not on his level. But I think he's the most clever player I've seen in my life. We're talking about the brain, eh? Mm-hmm. is just second to none the way things. And you know why also? Because I saw him for 6 years on and off with Belgium. You also a bit more kind of, you love the man a bit more, if you know what I mean, because I saw stuff that he did in training and in games. And yes, at times it was driving him crazy because he's a perfectionist, and perfectionists don't like if the pen is here, you move it, he's not well. Like he will look at the word, don't touch my pen. You know, and you put it back, say, don't touch my pen again. You know what I mean? Those guys are not, but is unbelievable.
You played with two of the best midfield players, I think, in the history of the game, in terms of Xavi and Iniesta. Now they won World Cup, Euros, Champions League. Now, do you think the greatest players, as I've just said, have to win that? Or it can just be you're judging players on their ability and what they do season after season? Or do you think the real greats have to be defined by a tournament in terms of a Euros or a World Cup and the Champions League?
It helps, Jamie. And usually those players win that. You know, it rarely happens that those players don't win that, apart if they're not playing maybe in a national team where they can, and you can understand why. Okay? But you mentioned two players there. Again, I go back to the same thing. Lionel Messi was getting the accolades, and rightly so. Samuel Eto'o was outstanding. Ronaldinho, I played in that team. Some other players. But the most important players were Xavi and Iniesta. They were making us stick. We have to go, we have to stop. Now we go, now we hear them. And what were the stats? You can also bring stats. What were the stats of Andres Iniesta at the end of the season? 4 goals, 5 assists. But man, we needed him. Xavi, also, not a lot. But when they were not there, we were not the same teams. And trust me, with quality, with pace, with power, we had maybe better player, more valuable player, guys with assist and goals at will. But those guys were the most important players. But to go back to what you were saying, yes, it helps. Yes, it solidifies your legacy. But I do think also legacy is about what you transmit and how you transcend people. And Kevin De Bruyne is one of those players. We talked about Thomas Müller the other day. You can be De Bruyne. It's difficult to be Messi. It's difficult to be Zidane. It's difficult to be Ronaldinho. You need some type of skills that those guys, like, they had a conversation with God. It's, you know, but it's true.
What did you say to me and you, God?
But you know what I mean. But you can be Kevin. And Kevin, his brain. You know, I'm still thinking about some stuff that I've seen, and it is just on a different planet. And it wasn't his best game tonight. But he delivered. You still have a game at the Etihad, though.
You do. Just to go back to what you were calling for, Jamie, which was like that signature moment from him on a big stage. I know really we're talking about that happening in a final, right? But that moment in today's semi-final felt significant, certainly to Micah. Should we relive Micah's reaction to that?
Oh, do we have...
Yes, like you're surprised.
Oh.
There you go. You see what I mean to him? He's crying. Is it?
If you want to know, how come Micah's always got such big energy, just go back to that shot and just kind of pan out on the desk, would you? And we'll show you where the energy comes from. It's a sugar rush that we get every time Micah's on set. That's the cookies that Micah
body posture.
Can we get some Heineken next time?
Oh, no.
We're going to bring you interviews from Madrid in a short minute. We're going to take a very quick break. We'll be right back. Don't stay with us, or do stay with us. Don't move. We'll be back in a second. Welcome back to London. A quick reminder for you that you can wake up to all things Champions League tomorrow with Morning Footy on the CBS Sports Golazo Network. The Morning Footy crew are going to recap Real Madrid, Manchester City, as only they can for you. Plus, our Serie A team is going to join them tomorrow to preview tomorrow's massive first leg match between AC Milan and Inter Milan. CBS Sports, remember, of course, the home of Serie A, so you do not want to miss that. The best part of all is that the Golazo Network streams for free at no cost whatsoever. It is available on the CBS Sports app and Pluto TV. It is free in both of those places. And of course, it's available to all Paramount Plus subscribers as well. So set your alarm, get your coffee ready for Morning Footy. It airs live 7 to 9 a.m. and then it re-airs from 9 to 11 and 11 to 1 p.m. Eastern, meaning that every single time zone around America can set their preferred wake-up call. It is a great watch. Enjoy it. go. We're on air. Hello, everybody.
Hello there! Really, Kate? Really? Wait, do you want me to do this job? Right there, Kate, really? Just throw to big mix.
Just love live TV. Hey?
Kate, really?
She's still getting used to it after all
I have
these
no idea
years.
what we're doing, Mike.
You was
What are you
on
doing?
absolute fire tonight, Kate, as well. You was on fire.
Listen.
Kate, what do you want us to do?
Anyway, we just want to talk you through. Well, Jamie wants to talk you through the goal, but I'm going to talk you through Real Madrid and how they applied the pressure before the goal.
Thanks, Micah. Good to know.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Happy?
Yes.
Roll red. If you just look here, I mentioned before the game, City are going to play that press. They're going to be aggressive. Look at the Real Madrid players there. You think, how can they possibly get out here? You see De Bruyne ready to go there. If we just roll it on, it's one touch, two touch, and it doesn't go. This amount of space, so Jamie's talked about Vinicius so much tonight. He was absolute threat. Again, Akanji this side, getting sucked in, leaves all this space here. City with the numbers there, pressing, but not pressing with a purpose, leaves them exposed down the flanks. And if we roll it on, the play materialises. You'll see Benzema with a better touch. There could have been one down at this point. And these were early signs before the goal. And Jamie, you want to talk us through that goal?
Yes, so there was a couple of warning signals for Manchester City, as Mike has just shown there. So the goal shouldn't have come as a surprise. But as we know in those first two clips Mike has shown, Manchester City are trying to press really high, keep Real Madrid in their own half. But you have to look at the quality. But look at Manchester City, the huge space that Mike has just identified just here for Camavinga to run into. But again, I have to look at the quality of the football from Real Madrid. It's not just about Manchester City. Lovely touch by Luka Modric. Camavinga, who was outstanding on the night, and Vinicius Jr. Now we know why Ederson couldn't save it. We spoke to Rob Green, but in terms of this guy, I thought he was the best player on the pitch, and I just feel that man there is the only man who can stop Manchester City getting to the final. I think if they nullify Vinicius Jr. in the second leg, I think you'll be in Istanbul.
Thierry, how highly do you rate Vinicius? Where would he rank amongst the best players in world football today?
It's difficult because you can bring defenders, you can bring midfielders in it, but definitely, right now, for me, he's the best winger out there. In his position, he's the best. I'm going to have to give also, I know we're going to, and I will go back to Vinicius Jr., but Camavinga and him, I wouldn't have liked to be Kyle Walker and Bernardo Silva tonight because they had to do an extra job on them. But Vinicius Jr., for me, as soon as his intensity in the game dropped a bit, you could see that Real Madrid were not the same team. Definitely, I think he's the best winger right now.
I said before the game that I feel like he's probably in the top 5 players. He could even be higher, maybe in the top 3. I mean, just because I think the obvious one we'd all be thinking about was probably Kylian Mbappe as maybe number 1 in the world now. But in terms of like Erling Haaland, because he's maybe more of a goal scorer than a great player right at this moment, would you class a player like that as still one of the best players in the world, or would you have to have more than goals?
Oh, Vinicius?
No, I mean sort of Erling Haaland. So if you were talking about the top 3, top 5, would you have someone like that just because of his number of goals?
Like I said to you, and I say it all the time, I like a guy that can create and finish. That's me. Because Vinicius Jr. does way more than only creates. He defended at one point on Ruben Diaz to take the ball. Showboats. I mean, minute 85th minute, I think he does a rainbow on Kyle Walker. And trust me, if he's not Kyle Walker, he's gone. Yeah. He's gone. So he has a lot of stuff that for me will make it up there. It's not only goals, don't get me wrong. It's important to score goals. It's one of the most difficult things to do in the world. But he brings so much to the game that he's up there with those guys. He's up there with Haaland. He's up there with Mbappe. Top 5? Haaland. Right now, the way he plays, when he brings a bit more to his game, he's on his way.
Ooh.
Okay. Well, right, Kate, we're throwing back to you. We are live. We are on air.
Yeah. No, question. Man of the match, who would you have given it to then today?
Ooh. Vinicius Jr. or Camavinga, I think it was a toss-up.
Same. Agree. It was KDB.
Camavinga was... Look, Vinicius Jr. played in his position and we all know what he can do, and he did it. But Camavinga never played left back in his life. He's doing it now for 2 months. He's coming in midfield, 1-2, defending. He looks strong. but the big man obviously will grab the headline, and I think he played better. So I will give it to Vinicius Junior, but Camavinga had an outstanding game.
Well, officially it was given to Kevin De Bruyne, just so you know, by the way.
What? Yeah, obviously. This is why there is a difference between ex-players, and I don't know who voted. It is true. Wow. It's a different game. Oh, you can't give, I love Kevin, amazing goal. You're telling me that's not Vinicius Junior, I want that. Come on.
All right.
Back to you, Kate.
Thanks so much. Why the American accent?
That's American audience.
Well, there was some controversy, wasn't there, around that Kevin De Bruyne equaliser, Real Madrid thinking that the ball had gone out of play. We'll bring in Christina Unkel to clear up that controversy after a break. We'll be right back. Stay with us. We'll be live in a minute. Welcome back to our post-game coverage. Good to have you with us. Kate Abdo, Thierry Henry, Jamie Carragher, Micah Richards. We have promised you live reaction from Madrid. We can bring you that now. Luka Modric has been speaking after the game. Here we go. Let's listen in to what he had to say.
In Croatian.
Primero, cómo has terminado el partido, porque es uno de esos encuentros en los que uno suda incluso mirándolo desde la grada por el esfuerzo. ¿Qué tal, Luka? Muy
He
buenas.
says a lot of effort in this game. We were sweating just watching you guys. What did you think? Said, I think we finished the game well. I felt good.
Bueno, un resultado todavía abierto, 1-1.
It's a result that's still open, 1-1.
Creo que hemos hecho buen partido.
I think we played a good game.
Cómo juegan ellos, que van a tener
We knew
posesión
what kind of game that they would play, that they would have possession. But I think they didn't create much. We have more opportunities. It's a shame that they managed to put that goal past us, but it's still very open. We're going to go over there to Manchester and give everything we have. So in the first 30 minutes, you guys barely had the ball, but the first shot you had on goal, you get the first goal. He says, yeah, as I said, we knew that they would have possession, but it isn't difficult to put them under pressure. We were patient. We waited for our opportunity. Even though they had the ball, I don't think they created much. And we suffered, we waited, and we managed to get to half-time 1-0 up. After that goal, I think that we improved our performance. And like I said, it's a shame that they managed to score. I feel like the referee could have given us something before that goal happened, maybe a foul earlier on, but it doesn't matter. Everything's still open. All good. So that's Luka Modric. Do we want to now bring in Christina Unkel and kind of talk about that Kevin De Bruyne goal, the second goal of the game that Luka Modric was talking about there? Christina Unkel, welcome to the show. Good to see you, as always. So Real Madrid feeling a little irritated, thinking that maybe the ball had gone past the line, gone out of play, out of bounds before the goal happened. Can you talk to us about your perspective on that?
Yeah, so the angle that we see from it is the camera angle at mid-angle, showing that the ball is in the air above the line. And the question is, you'll see the circle, the emphasis on it. Ball is in the air, we're there, not potentially for the other ones. But it is a good reminder, and one of the most controversial points is, why did VAR not get involved here? And there's 2 points to remember with VAR in the protocol and process on this. Can VAR check for a ball going outside before a goal? The answer is yes. But the most important point here is, at what part can VAR become involved? We explain it as the attacking phase of play. There is no set amount of time before a goal we go back to check. Instead, it's really predicated by the possession and who has possession of the ball. So we can debate, we can have the question as to whether the ball left, but the real answer is this actually would not have been captured in the window and the time frame for when VAR could have gone back to take a look from when De Bruyne scored that goal, specifically because there was a turnover in possession about at 66:38 when Camavinga took the ball away from De Bruyne, converted it, had plenty of time, made a bad pass that was picked off by Rodrigo. That actually started that window for the VAR to look. So even if this was out, it would not have been reviewed by the VAR leading to the goal.
Are we all clear?
Wow.
Yeah.
Christina on fire.
Could VAR have cleared it up, do you think, Christina? Is there a mechanism in place, is what I'm asking?
No. I mean, we have the technology here in UEFA Champions, right? We have semi-automated offside technologies. There's over 30 camera angles. To have semi-automated offside technology, every limb is tracked here within the 4 corners of the pitch. So the technology is there. So if they needed to take a look at it, they could have easily completed it as well.
So sorry, just to be really clear, there is VAR technology on the sidelines as well, because obviously we know about the goal line technology, but is there sideline technology, VAR?
There is not specific sideline technology. What semi-automated offside provides is the ability to track pretty much every single limb on that field. That being on top of that touchline there, him reaching out an extension of keeping it in, that would have been tracked and that would have been able to be determined by the camera angles from the VAR if the VAR would have had the protocol of being able to check back.
You okay?
I'm okay.
Okay, good.
So VAR could see that. That wasn't a problem. But is that what we're saying, Christine? So VAR could have got involved if Manchester City had gone straight ahead and scored a goal, they could have said that ball had gone out of play. So they knew it was out of play, if that's the case.
Correct. If Man City had directly scored from that within that attacking phase, VAR could have gone back to check. Here in this situation, it wasn't in the attacking phase when Camavinga won possession of it and reset that attacking phase.
Okay, cool. We appreciate you clearing that up. There's a video that's going around on social media, not an official one, right? I've not seen it, sorry, because I was doing something else at the time. You got to see it. What's the video showing?
It shows the ball's out of play. But that's what Christine has explained to us, is that's just a mistake by the linesman. That can happen at times. But I think it's a case of VAR not going, how far do you go back? So what they're saying is Real Madrid had the ball. I think it was Camavinga who actually played the ball into midfield. They lost possession. There was a turnover. So I think as soon as Real Madrid have got the ball, it's almost cancelled out, if you like.
Okay.
Because they haven't, lost an advantage. Yeah, different phase of play.
Got you. All right. Okay. Did we thank Christina? Thank you, Christina, if you're still there. Good to see you. We're going to go to a very quick break. We'll bring you Guillaume Balaguer live from Madrid after this break, and Jack Grealish as well. We'll be back in a second.
Ooh.
2 moments of genius from Vinicius Jr. and KDB. Real Madrid, Manchester City, all square, heading to the Etihad next week. And tomorrow promises more high-stakes drama. The Champions League spotlight moves over to Milan at the iconic San Siro. It is one of the great rivalries in football. AC Milan against Inter Milan in their semi-final first leg. And you can catch the Derby della Madonnina live on CBS coverage. Begins at 2 p.m. Eastern for you. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back to our Champions League coverage. Good to have you with us. We've had a great night of Champions League football. 1-1 the final score between Manchester City and Real Madrid. Moment of genius from Kevin De Bruyne as well to put City back. Balance and body shape, and you said it was...
No, look at this one, please.
That's where KDB learnt it.
Oh,
look
what
at
time
that.
is it, Mr. Wolf?
Oh.
Look at that. Why is my foot up there?
You can see he had back fat when he was a player.
That's a fantastic technique, though. Look at that.
But where is the ball?
You talked about balance, Thierry. Look at that.
That doesn't look like your
Look at
leg.
it straight. I could have been a gymnast.
I don't even know what I'm looking at, really.
Look at... Okay, on form, my technique looks better than Kevin's, though.
No.
On talent, not so much?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, boy. We're going to take you out to Madrid. Bernabeu. Guillaume Balaguer with Jack Grealish.
It is a big pitch. It's a big game. There's a lot of things that I guess you're in the game to play these kind of matches, no?
Yeah, listen, these are the games, we said it before the game, these are the games that you live to play in, These are the games when you're a child that you want to play and everyone in the world watching. A Champions League semi-final at the Bernabeu, you don't really get much better than that. So, to play in it was so good. It was so nice, I really enjoyed it tonight. And I think in the end, it was a fair result probably. I think there weren't a lot to separate us, 2 wonder strikes from both of them, from Vinicius and from Kev. And I think, all in all, it was probably a fair result.
But I guess when you, as a kid, imagine a game like this, you imagine doing 5 dribbles and a couple of goals. But in a game like this, you don't have a lot of the time with the ball yourself, the creative players.
Yeah, no, tonight I didn't at all. I felt like, when I did get the ball, they doubled up a fair bit, whether it was the midfielder Valverde coming over to help him or in the first half, Rodrigo was coming back to help. So it was difficult, at times to have like a 1v1 really. But I think they defended well, and I think in the end, our best chance of scoring was going to come from a long shot. I think we had a few chances in the first half where, you know, the edge of the box was free to give it back to Gundo, and we didn't really hit the target or whatever. So, you know, luckily Kev stepped up and what a goal.
You said Real Madrid defended well, so especially the first half when they were deep, but they didn't leave any spaces in between the lines, so you couldn't find Haaland, for instance.
Yeah, well, he had a few. I think he had a few, like, you know, half chances. But yeah, listen, I defended well tonight. It was obviously always going to be a tough game, you know, coming here playing against Real Madrid. And we come here, you know, purely to win. We didn't come here to say, oh yeah, let's take a draw or whatever. So I think, you know, even though it was a fair result, we are a little bit disappointed because we wanted to win the game. But yeah, going back to our place now, it'll be interesting, and you know, I'm sure the Etihad will be bouncing.
Okay, well, we're going to take you out to Guillem Balaguer, who was talking to Jack Grealish over there in the Bernabeu. Guillem, I guess, obviously, you got the opportunity to speak to a couple of players and get their thoughts on how they thought the first leg played out. What about your opinion?
I think it's fair that both teams feel the performance was right, was good. In the case of Manchester City, they never betrayed their style, even though being 1-0 down. In the case of Real Madrid, they defended very well, especially in the first half. City haven't created a lot of chances. Both were happy with the mentality. Every minute was battle to take control of the game, but nobody gave up. And every team reacted really very well to what was happening. And thirdly, I guess there are things to improve. In the case of Manchester City, they have to get Haaland more involved. In the case of Real Madrid, as they did in the second half, better pressure high, keeping the possession more. That will be, I guess, the indication from both managers for the second leg.
And how do you expect that second leg to play out? Who do you think is going to end up coming out of that game better?
I don't know. I don't know, because it's this kind of game that can go absolutely either way. I don't believe in the advantage of playing at home of Manchester City, as Real Madrid are capable of doing whatever. The thing is, if Real Madrid win, we'll come out with the impression that, do you know what, perhaps they didn't deserve it, but they've got this genius of a player that scored a goal. If Manchester City win, we'll think it's logical because they have played better, a little bit as it happened today.
Okay, just talking about changing subject, I guess, talking about last night, we saw you in Paris. A photo appeared earlier on in the show of you in Paris. There it is with Lionel Messi and his wife, Antonella. I guess, obviously, the official word that came out from Lionel's father today is that there is no decision on his future and where he's going. Was there anything that you were able to kind of discover last night?
Exactly that, but couldn't say it until the statement came out from Jorge Messi, in which he was saying nothing is decided. Somebody came out with a line that the Saudi Arabia agreement is in place, that's it, that's where Messi goes. I can tell you, the plan is, let's finish the season and then let's see what happens. Let's see what offers we get and where he fancies going. But his priority is actually to stay in Europe, but not PSG, so let's see.
Interesting. We're going to see you in Milan next week, I believe.
That's right, and my plan is to get there early, like Sunday, and go shopping on Monday before Tuesday's show. But I don't want to do it on my own, so can I choose one of the three guys there to come with me? For instance,
I am ready
Micah,
and available.
do you fancy coming with me shopping in Milan? Then let's do it on Monday.
You guys do have similar taste.
In what regard?
I mean...
That's right.
Oh, my word!
Stylish, we both stylish.
Big mix. He's on the mushrooms again.
Guillem, as the kind of the king of floral pattern on this show. Jamie, you idiot.
Yeah.
I'm interested how you would rate Micah's outfit. How would you rate the fit? Did you like it? Did you approve?
Let's say that he can get better, and in fact on Monday he will get better. So see you Monday.
Yes.
I see you Monday.
Go shopping. All right.
It's a date.
Woohoo! Okay, all right, Guillem, good to see you. Thank you so much. We'll be at both games next week. What was the joke about the shirt? I think I missed it.
No, you don't want to get cancelled.
No. Again.
I'd leave it alone.
Yeah. Everything goes over your head, Kate, don't worry.
Erling Haaland, we talked about him so much in the pre-game. You've got the sweats, Micah.
Oh, it's just hot in here, isn't it?
I'm all right.
Get some aircon. That's all I asked for, please.
It's pretty hot today.
It's hot.
Erling Haaland, you're normally on my team, Team Cold.
Yeah, but it's hot today.
How would you kind of, I don't know, rate his performance, Erling Haaland? It was similar to KDB. We'd said he's a player that there was pressure on for Manchester City to come out and to perform and to carry the team.
We go back to the same thing. I think it wasn't like the type of game where he could be found because there was no space. Every time they were covering, that team could serve him the normal way. But look, you need to find a way, and they did it tonight. So hopefully they can finish that tie at the Etihad.
Why are you smiling on that? I thought you had something planned. You didn't want to say anything.
No, we're going to a break, aren't we?
We are going to a break.
How long have we got when we come back?
I don't know. Why?
I don't know. It might be something I've conjured up or I want to throw in before we go. Is it time for me to put a clip in before we go?
Oh, Lord.
You know, we're still
What's
live.
it about? They want to know what it's about. We're still live.
We're still live.
Great TV we're bringing you tonight. We are coming to a very short break. We'll be back with something from Jamie in a minute. Stay with us. Welcome back. Jamie, you got about 30 seconds. What have you got?
Well, this man on my left, Big Meeks, it was a big night for him. Obviously, at Manchester City, he was really excited, but there was a lot of tension in the air. When we were rehearsing to come on to the show, the guy completely lost his head with the producer and he had to get called out. He nearly never did the show. Look at his face, look at his face. Look, he's got to go and see the producer now.
Nothing is private in here. Nothing is private.
Is the manager going to back down or the player? Don't show weakness now, Matt. I just want to know what got said.
It's confidential.
We need to know. Nothing's confidential on this show. Did you back down or did the producer back down?
What do you think?
Big Meeks isn't backing down, is he? So we can do what we want on this show now.
What do you mean?
The top man has backed down, let the power to the people. He's lost the dressing room.
Oh, dear.
He's just said he's going to get his own back tomorrow. He's just coming here.
Ooh, interesting. I wonder what we've got planned.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this was fun. You okay, Thierry? You enjoyed the night?
Tonight.
I was just thinking, Vinicius Junior on the left, Mbappe and Haaland forward. Please, team, someone put them together.
Ooh, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Listen, everybody, our Champions League
Madrid,
coverage, it continues right now on the CBS Sports Golasso Network with the Champions Club. So make sure you join Poppy Miller, Nico Cantor, Aaron West for that. It's a big night in Madrid. Tomorrow it's going to be another big one in Milan. As Michael always says, let's say it together.
Ciao a tutti! Arrivederci! Adimani!